Thank you so much for joining us this morning. My name is Mari Carmen Heroles, and I'm with Dallas ISD, and I'm so happy that we're able to do this for you this morning. Welcome, everyone. We do this every year. We had to change things up a little bit this year, but we are very glad that you were able to join us this morning, and you can get a look at all the new the programs, new and old, that we have to offer your students. We have a new application, and we'll talk to you about that in a little bit. Buenos días y gracias por estar con nosotros el día de hoy. Estamos muy emocionados de poder tener este evento para todos ustedes. Quiero decirles que si quieren escuchar este evento en español, pueden hacerlo buscando el icono del mundo en la parte inferior de su pantalla y pulsando en él encontrar la interpretación en español. Si por alguna razón no funciona, salgan y vuelvan a intentarlo. Si tienen algún problema, por favor, hagan la pregunta o déjenos saberlo en el Q&A que está también en la parte inferior de la pantalla. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Deputy Chief of Transformation and Innovation, Angie Gaylor, who will welcome you from the district and tell us a little bit about what we're doing today.
Good morning, Dallas. Welcome to Discover Dallas ISD. Today officially launches our application portal for the 21-22 school year. So you're going to get to spend some time today and the next couple of weeks. These will go through November, December, and January when our application closes January 31st to see and to hear and to discover all of the programs in Dallas ISD, whether it be neighborhood schools, magnet schools, transformation schools, early college, high schools. We've got so many opportunities for every student in the city of Dallas to find their best fit school. And with that, I'm going to turn it over for some exciting news for the first time, something we've been building for years, for our Executive Director of Centralized Enrollment in Magnet Schools, Keisha Crowder-Davis, to talk about the new application that launches today.
Good morning, Dallas ISD families. How exciting this is. Welcome to the Discover event. That's virtual, but you're here with us. We want to talk about our Choose Dallas ISD application. As Angie said, we've been working on this application for years. We heard you. We heard all of the stories that you had to share with us about applying to the various programs in the various portals and not being able to effectively figure out all of the programs that we have available here for you. So we launched in June a school finder. Our school finder is live on the Choose Dallas ISD website. That is our shopping mall. This is our Nordstrom's of schools. You're able to go on to the school finder. You're able to search by neighborhood schools, which are your first choice always. You're able to search by grade level. You're able to search by program. You're able to find anything you're looking for in Dallas ISD on our school finder, just as you were online shopping. After you find the school that you're looking for, you're able to go into our new Choose Dallas ISD application and apply. With this new application, families have 5 choices of schools that they can pick. Only 2 of them can be a magnet school, because parents right now, you currently only are allowed to apply to 2 magnet programs, and we wouldn't want you to have to sit for at least 5 assessments. So you're able to pick 5 schools, only 2 of them being a magnet. They can be any combination: neighborhood schools, P-TECs, transformation schools, IB programs, dual language schools. We put all of these schools into one portal for you families. You're able to go on right now and select your school. How is that going to work? What we're going to do, it's very important, for you to prioritize your 5 choices. Once you prioritize your 5 choices, you'll be able to receive notification via your phone, via an email, because you're going to be able to select how you want to hear from us. So we're going to contact you via phone, via email, and let you know we've received your application. Then we're going to contact you. If it's a school where you have to sit for an assessment or an interview, we're going to let you know when that interview is scheduled. Then after you do your assessment, you'll receive a notification that lets you know where you've been accepted or where you've been waitlisted. And from there, you'll be able to confirm your seat via that same portal or via that text message to let us know, yes, I'm going to this school. From there, you're going to seamlessly walk through our registration process. So you'll be all registered for school before the end of the school year. Once we complete our registration or our acceptance process in March, guess what? We're going to open up this portal for our pre-K families. Families will be able to go through the portal and do the exact same thing for our pre-K neighborhood schools. This is so exciting for us. I hope it's exciting for you. If there are any questions regarding this application, Communications has built us this fabulous website. I'm sure you're going to be able to see it today. It's www.dallasisd/choose Dallas ISD. If that's too much, if you go to our homepage, in the middle of the page, there's a schoolhouse that says Choose Dallas ISD. So we're hoping that you're going to choose Dallas ISD today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Keisha. That was very informative. And again, please visit the website for any questions, any additional information that you might have. There is a wealth of information. There are some videos there too that tell you a little bit about the programs. And if you're ready to start your application, if you already know which school you're going to apply for and you're ready to start that, then we have a phone bank that is going on today until 2 p.m. In case you run into any issues with the application, you can call them. That number is 972-925-5560. 972-925-5560. And we have people waiting to get your calls if you need that additional help. But I've looked at the application and it really is super user friendly, so you shouldn't have any problems. But if you do, we are here to help. And now we're ready to start our presentation. We're going to have each program give us information about their schools, what they offer, some of the requirements to be able to participate. And also, we will have some videos to show you a little bit about what parents think on that. And with that, I am going to share my screen and show you the first video. Hang on, I'm having some forgot to do one thing.
The biggest benefit for my daughter while being at a magnet has been the environment that she's in. She's surrounded by scholars who think similarly to the way she does, and that has gone a long way toward nurturing her passions and discovering what she truly is interested in. And she's always just so excited when they do make a new discovery, when they do learn something that she had never thought about before. That little seed inside of them that really gets them excited about getting up in the morning and putting on their clothes and going to school. A magnet school can really help nurture that and help it grow and become just such a beautiful blossoming thing.
Great, so we'll start with the magnet programs. So whoever's doing this presentation, please.
Good morning, it's me again. It's Keisha Crowder-Davis, Executive Director of Centralized Enrollment and Magnet Programs. What are magnet programs? Magnet schools are schools of choice that offer unique educational opportunities and experience found within Dallas ISD. Students have access to college prep courses and specialized thematic curricula that investigate and explore today's career choices. Next slide, please. Magnet schools do have a selection process. There are admission qualifications. Applicants must meet the following criteria to qualify for an assessment. There must be a minimum GPA average of 75 or 80. The schools that are at 80 are the Townview Talented and Gifted schools, all of our tag schools, and the Science and Engineering Magnet. Students, because of the pandemic, we don't have STAR scores. So what we're using this year, the 40th percentile on the fall ACP reading or math, or the 40th percentile on the beginning of the year MAP or reading score. We're also your GPA, because we're in the middle of, we just ended our 9-week grading cycle. So this application is going to present to you your GPA, or you're going to be able to use your current GPA or your last spring's GPA. We want to make sure that families applying to magnet schools, there are options to get in. The pandemic really caused us, a little concern about how we were going to qualify our students, but within Dallas ISD, we came up with options. Next slide, please.
Looks like we've been having some issues with the slides, but
I'll keep going. I can
yes.
talk about the various programs. Within Dallas ISD, we have magnet elementary schools. There are several elementary schools. We have 2 magnet Montessori schools. We have our George Bannerman Dealey Montessori. We have our Harry Stone Montessori and IB. We have the remaining schools that I'm going to talk about start at 4th grade. We have J.P. Stark, Math, Science, and Technology. We have KB Pope Fine Arts Vanguard. Mark Twain School for the Talented and Gifted begins at 1st grade and all the way through 5th grade. We have our School for the Talented and Gifted in Pleasant Grove, which is our dual language Talented and Gifted program that starts at 4th grade and is growing to 8th grade. Sidney Lanier Expressive Arts is our 4th through 8th grade. Sudie Williams Tag Program is our 4th through 8th grade program. Trinity Heights Talented and Gifted is 4th through 8th grade. And our W.B. Travis Academy for Talented and Gifted is a 4th through 8th grade program. Next slide, please. Our middle schools. We have several middle school programs. I'm not going to go through each of them, but I'll just say there's a wide variety. We have Talented and Gifted programs. We have Single Gender with Barack Obama and Irma Rangel. We have science programs. We have Harry Stone IB, Longfellow Career Exploration, and several tag programs. We even have our Rosemont Upper School, which is our dual language magnet program. Next slide. And our world-renowned magnet high schools. We have Booker T. Washington. We have the School for the Talented and Gifted. We have Skyline Career Development. We have the schools at Townview, which are Judge Barefoot Sanders Law Magnet, School for the Talented and Gifted, our Business and Management, Health Professions, Science and Engineering, and we have our Rosie Sorrell School for Education and Social Services. Next slide. Within magnet schools, there's a variety of programs for everyone. So we're hoping today that you're going to choose a magnet school. Thank you.
Great. Now we're going to go to the next video.
Every day, just the enthusiasm that our boys have for coming to school. They come home and they're so excited with what they've learned and what they're going to learn, and they just have such a love of learning and coming to school, which is exactly what we wanted.
He's just grown leaps and bounds in the 16 weeks he's been at school. Those were our initial reasons of why we wanted to choose a Montessori Academy.
Just the amount of self-confidence that they have, like just they believe that they can do things themselves, and you, like I said, you see that at home. He just wants to like shower him by himself now, and he wants to just do all these things and figure things out on his own. So, and I think it's in large part because of what he's learned here.
Good morning,
Great. So,
everyone.
Transformation
My name-
Schools.
Hi. Good morning. My name is Nicole Bixby, and I'm the Operations Director of the Office of Transformation and Innovation. And our team's goal is to provide best fit schools for all Dallas ISD families. We are very excited to share the many programs available at our transformation and neighborhood schools. We're going to begin with our transformation schools. Transformation schools are open enrollment campuses designed around an innovative instructional model. Our instructional models include exploratory arts, leadership, Montessori, STEM, STEAM, personalized learning, and project-based learning. There are no academic entry requirements, and transportation is offered to students living within district boundaries. Online applications to transformation schools are accepted annually from November through January. Students are selected through a lottery. Offers are generated based on the number of seats available in each grade level, the student's priority group, and the randomly assigned lottery number. Research shows that socially economically diverse schools offer better learning environments for all students, no matter their background. Many of our transformation schools are designated 50-50 socioeconomic diversity schools. At these schools, students are entered into a lottery group based on their economic status. So let's take a look at your transformation school choices. Montessori schools include multi-age grouping, uninterrupted work cycle, guided choice of work, prepared environments, hands-on materials, and social emotional learning. Next year, our families have 4 Montessori options, including Mata Montessori, Montessori Academy at Onisimo Hernandez, Downtown Montessori at Ida B. Wells, and the new elementary Montessori Academy at Edie Walker. We also have a personalized learning pathway that allows students to start at PL Prep in elementary and continue their personalized learning journey in secondary by attending Ignite Middle School and IDEA High School. Personalized learning is a one-size-fits-one approach to instruction that puts students in the driver's seat of their own learning. For students interested in science, technology, engineering, and math, Holsey STEAM and West Dallas STEM School program at Pinkston are excellent middle school options. At STEAM and STEM campuses, students engage in hands-on activities such as robotics, experiments, computer coding, and deep problem solving that prepares them for higher demand careers. The Solar Girls and Solar Boys campuses provide students a single gender STEAM experience in which their confidence and individuality are nurtured to foster the importance of an inclusive society. The Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Arts Academy provides students opportunities to explore dance, visual arts, piano, and orchestra. Our City Lab High School students use the City of Dallas as an extension of the classroom. They are gaining real-world experience while participating in community problem solving involving urban planning and architecture. And at New Tech High School, students engage in project-based learning, problem solving, collaboration, and various forms of communication, empowering innovators and entrepreneurs. So please be sure to visit these campus informational sessions that are coming in the upcoming weeks to learn more about their unique offerings. For secondary webinars, they will be held on Saturday, November 14th, and our elementary webinars will be held on December 5th. Slide, please. We also have many innovative choices at our Dallas ISD neighborhood campuses. Innovation schools are neighborhood schools that offer a redesigned curriculum while maintaining their current identity. So if you live in the neighborhood, you can simply attend the neighborhood school. Students who live outside these attendance zones can attend if space is available. So let's review some of these innovative offerings at our neighborhood campuses. Several of our innovation schools offer personalized learning, and this can be at the elementary and secondary levels. In personalized learning environments, students are supported in becoming self-directed learners by using their voice to choose what, how, when, and where they learn to solve problems that are relevant in their own lives and in their communities. Lorenzo de Zavala is another elementary school that offers Montessori as well for our families. And this year we have Hogg Elementary joining the New Tech Network, where they're emphasizing project-based learning and technology. We are proud to provide international baccalaureate, STEM, and STEAM choices to various elementary and secondary schools. The Dallas ISD IB schools are on a mission to grow global changemakers. Our IB programs offer challenging academic environments that develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people who take an active role in creating a better and more peaceful world through intercultural understanding, ownership, and respect. IB's high school students also earn college credit. STEM and STEAM are the perfect educational path for students who enjoy finding solutions to real-world problems and challenges. They bring together the critical components of how and what and lace them together with why. Students have the opportunity to attend innovation neighborhood schools that offer leadership, design thinking, global service, as well as expeditionary learning models. We offer 2 single-gender campuses in the heart of Southeast Dallas. Young Women's STEAM Academy at Box Springs targets STEAM education because we know that women are underrepresented in science, technology, engineering, and math fields. Research shows that all girls' school graduates have higher confidence in STEM. Young Men's Leadership Academy places an emphasis on leadership skills for the next generation of male leaders. At YMLA, boys' unique interests are nurtured, and they are pushed to be out-of-the-box thinkers and learners. Teachers use hands-on strategies and are intentional about tapping into the male brain to ensure success and nothing less. For more information on the innovative programs at these neighborhood campuses, be sure to join the campus webinars on December the 12th. Our transformation and innovation schools have been designed with your child in mind. We look forward to receiving your application to the best fit schools of your choice. Thank you.
P-TECH is a program that IBM started in 2011 with a single school in Brooklyn, New York. We found that the success rate of these earlier schools that we've started has been incredible. We also see that these students are highly successful workers when they come through the program and are very skilled, not just in technology and academics, but they're highly skilled in how to work in a professional work environment. They understand collaboration, they understand how to communicate, they understand how to work in a team and as part of a team, which are all critical skills to the workplace.
Well, my supervisor actually get me exposure to different places as a business analyst, CIS, and manager, supporter, HR, and different things. She wanted to put me around in different places so I can actually know what I really want to do.
Not a lot of kids that can afford to go to a prestigious school and get these prestigious degrees and stuff, and P-TECH offers them a pathway that they can get to that.
If we can work with these kids and provide them with some real mentorship and skills from a technology perspective, that bodes really well for us to have local skills for us to draw from.
Most of public schools don't get enough credit for what they do and what kids could bring into the workforce, and it would be a great advantage for each kid to have this opportunity.
So I made a little mistake. I shared a I shared a video out of sequence. Let me show you now the video for that we're actually supposed to be watching for dual language. So sorry. We'll just have to watch PTech again, but it's such a great video. I don't think that you guys will mind. So let me share the dual language right now.
Well, I was born in Mexico, so my daughter was born here, so her native language is English, which whenever she was young, it was very hard to keep her just speaking Spanish between us speaking to her in English, her friends speaking to her in English, and, you know, just kind of giving up on the whole heritage and where we come from. So ever since she's been a part of the dual language program here, it's really benefited her to the point that she corrects me, the point that she speaks to a lot more people on Spanish, with her grandparents, with just people all over the place. We were looking for a house to buy because we are trying to get better schools for our kids. So, you know, a lot of times we know that where we live at, you know, the schools are not the worst, but, you know, we wanted to keep our kids focused on their language and get better schooling. So when STAG opened up, or this two-way dual language school opened up here in Pleasant Grove, we were psyched. We didn't have to jump into a house that we couldn't afford because we're trying to do something different, and we definitely made the right decision by bringing our kids here.
Okay, dual language.
Hi, good morning. My name is Belinda Moran, and I'm with Dual Language Programs. Welcome, everybody. A dual language program offers students an opportunity to excel academically while fostering linguistic and cultural diversity in two languages. It brings the students' home language to the school setting while enriching the linguistic experience of all students. Some of the frequently asked questions about our program are, how do I enroll in elementary two-way or secondary dual language? This year, our application is online. You simply have to go to Dallas ISD / choose, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Choose your choice. I'm sorry, dallasisd.org, your choices. As far as the elementary and two-way secondary seats that are available, for English learners, seats are available pre-K through 5th or 6th grade, depending on the grade levels offered at the school. For bilingual students, for our non-English learners or our opt-in students, seats are available pre-K through 1st grade. And then another question that we get very often is, what is the ideal age to enroll my child into elementary two-way dual language? The ideal age is actually 4 to 6 years old, meaning that it's ideal to enroll your child in pre-K or kindergarten. Not all of our schools offer a program at pre-K. If they don't, then there are opportunities at other campuses to apply. Thank you. Just a breakdown of some of our numbers. Currently, we have 6,049 students in our two-way dual language program in elementary. We offer the program at 73 of our elementary schools. The next slide, please. For our secondary dual language program, we currently have 975 students enrolled. The program is offered at 8 different middle schools, meaning that students who were in the program before in elementary have the opportunity to continue their journey in bilingualism, biliteracy to middle school. And then after that, they have the opportunity to continue their journey in high school, offered at 5 different of our high schools. The main difference between the two programs, elementary dual language and secondary dual language, is that in the elementary dual language setting, courses are taught in both English and Spanish. And then our secondary dual language program, the student takes a minimum of 2 courses in Spanish every year. Okay. And then with 7,000 students in our programming, we know that we're growing global citizens. And the only thing I wanted to add is that if you want a list of our schools, we have 86 schools that will be in the program next year. Please visit our website at dallasisd.org/dual language to see our schools and where they're located. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Yesenia Ramirez. I am the Director in Early Learning that oversees the pre-K enrollment and registration for Dallas ISD. I'm here a little bit here to talk about our pre-K3 and pre-K programs that we offer in Dallas ISD. So we know that a child's brain develops very quickly in the ages from 0 to 5, and data shows that students that attend pre-K actually perform much higher academically and develop socially much faster compared to the students that don't attend pre-K at such a young age. Next slide. So as you heard from my different peers mentioned earlier, so Dallas ISD offers different types of programs, but it also includes in pre-K. We have schools that offer Montessori, single gender. So there's actually pre-K for boys and pre-K for girls. We offer full day pre-K3 and full day pre-K4 in some of our selected schools. We have the dual language we just heard Belinda talk about in some of our schools. We have personalized learning such as Sam Houston. So there's really different types of pre-K programs than just your traditional programs that a lot of families have heard in the past, which including the half day and full day option for our pre-K3s. Next slide. So here's a couple of programs that we have that you can apply actually today for the lottery for our transformation schools. I mentioned earlier, we do have Montessori, which we have quite a few Montessori programs, which is Downtown Montessori, Ida B. Wells, Eduardo Mata, Dilly, Harry Stone, E.D. Walker. Now, some of our Montessori schools offer full, start off at 3, and others Montessori schools start off at 4. And that's when you start to dig a little bit more about each school. As you're researching, you get to know more of the type of pre-K program that they offer. Including earlier I mentioned, there is personalized learning like in Sam Houston, and then our 2 single gender schools that start pre-K at the age of 4. Next slide. So how do you apply for pre-K? And so you, step 1, you actually apply at the school choice program of your choice that's been mentioned and broadcast in today's presentation. 2, you'll receive your offer on March 1st for the lottery if you get accepted for the lottery. Step 3, you'll receive your offer within the next 10 days after that. And next is once you get your acceptance letter, and I think Keisha mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation in regards to pre-K, then you'll be able to submit and complete your online pre-K registration program. Once you complete your registration program, you'll be able to submit and upload a couple of documentation that is required for us to qualify our families for pre-K. And there's a couple of ways that you can actually qualify. You either qualify for free pre-K based on our TA guidelines. If not, you can qualify for a Dallas ISD scholarship. And if you don't qualify for either of those 2, you can actually participate in our tuition-based program in Dallas ISD. So there is always a way and form that you can actually qualify. So on this slide, it actually shows the different ways you can specifically qualify, as I mentioned earlier, where there's the TA guidelines, which is those specific documents will be required for you to submit. The second one was the scholarships, and those are the 3 major areas how you can qualify for the scholarship. And then the last way you can participate in Dallas ISD pre-K program in these selected schools is you'll be able to pay for tuition. Now, one thing everybody must know that your child must be a certain age by September 1st. So if you like your child to participate in the pre-K3 program in these selected schools, they must be 3 years old before or by September 1st. And they must be pre-K4, for pre-K4, they must be 4 years old before or by September 1st. Okay. Next slide. So right now we actually have a hotline going on. So if you have any more questions, you can actually visit our website, or after this program or during this presentation, you can actually call our pre-K hotline, which is 214-932-7735. They're ready to answer any questions that you may have, how to apply, how do you qualify, and a little bit more information of the different programs we offered in Dallas ISD. So please feel free to call. If not, if you want to text, if you're a texter, you can actually text pre-K to our number here below at 972-687-7735. We'll be able to answer your text messages as well. If not, you can always send us an email at prek@dallasisd.org, and we'll be able to actually guide you, answer the questions, and be able to provide support in any way that we can.
P-TECH is a program that IBM started in 2011 with a single school in Brooklyn, New York. We found that the success rate of these earlier schools that we've started has been incredible. We also see that these students are highly successful workers when they come through the program and are very skilled, not just in technology and academics, but they're highly skilled in how to work in a professional work environment. They understand collaboration, they understand how to communicate, they understand how to work in a team and as part of a team, which are all critical skills to the workplace.
Well, my supervisor actually get me exposure to different places as a business analyst, CIS, and manager, supporter, HR, different things. She wanted to put me around in different places so I can actually know what I really want to do.
Not a lot of kids that can afford to go to a prestigious school and get these prestigious degrees and stuff, and P-TECH offers them a pathway that they can get to that.
If we can work with these kids and provide them with some real mentorship and skills from a technology perspective, that bodes really well for us to have local skills for us to draw from.
Most of public schools don't get enough credit for what they do and what kids could bring into the workforce, and it would be a great advantage for each kid to have this opportunity.
All right, so our folks with P-TECH or in early college, don't forget to unmute yourselves.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nithya Govindasamy. I'm with the P-TECH and Early College Programs team. Welcome. We're excited to see so many people on this call interested about Dallas ISD programs. A little bit about the P-TECH and Early College program. P-TECH itself stands for Pathway to Technology Early College High Schools. And essentially what we are focused on is getting students through high school and focused in a career area that they're interested in so they can earn college credits and also earn an associate's degree if they complete the enough college credit hours that are required in a career pathway of their choice. And all of this for free. So the students do not have to pay for any of the college credits and they are able to earn both a high school diploma and a college degree all at the same time. We have a variety of pathways and we'll share more with you. Next slide, please. A little bit about the state of Texas. One of the things that's really a big focus here and why the P-TECH program and early college program is aligned with that is we're really focused on trying to get more of our young people through college education because it is a necessary requirement for working in the state of Texas. We're seeing more and more jobs and careers require at least a post-secondary credential for students to enter those fields. There's a heavy emphasis on the workforce in the state of Texas and specifically in the Dallas region. And we're focused on not just any jobs, but the jobs that are high demand and high wage. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, the P-TECH program really does involve a few different things. It's a high school, a college, and industry partners working together to prepare our students to enter middle skill jobs. Next slide, please. We do have two different types of programs here, the P-TECH program. The major difference between the P-TECH program and the early college program is that P-TECH is focused on also aligning with workforce and industry partners. That is the big major difference. So each of the 18 P-TECH schools have industry partners, so companies that are partnered with those schools and prepare students. On the early college side, they still earn the college credit hours and they have access to the same or different pathways to get to a degree, but they don't have official industry partners. Next slide, please. A little bit about the outcomes that we see in our P-TECH and early college programs. So I mentioned the high school diploma. We also have students earning 60 plus college credit hours. And again, no cost to the students or parents. The associate degree is something that students can complete. Not all of our students complete an associate degree, but they earn college credits that can be used after they leave towards a degree. The heavy focus on career and technology certifications. So things that are really important in the workforce, things that they will need to be able to compete in the marketplace are part of the programs. We also connect to our students get an opportunity to work directly with the companies and industry partners. They get mentoring, they get to visit job locations, work sites. They even get internships, which is one of the things that we really encourage our students to do so they can get prepared for the future of work. And in some cases, they are interviewing for job opportunities as they're graduating from high school. So it is a very comprehensive program and really focused on getting your students through not just high school, but what happens beyond. Next slide, please. I will turn it over to my colleague, Chris Kwan, to go over the next set of information.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Kwan, and I'm the Workplace and Career Coordinator for Dallas ISD PTech. Thank you once again for considering Dallas ISD. And what this picture tells you about becoming a PTech student is that no matter where you live in the DFW, whether north, south, east, or west, there is an outstanding PTech campus that can help educate and empower your student's future nearby. When applying to a PTech program, you will have up to 5 choices. Due to the demand of our program, we strongly encourage you to discover PTech because your first and second choice will be essential when completing your application. So whether it's location or career pathway or a combination of other variables that help you and your family make the decision, we strongly encourage you to choose your top 2 PTech campus choices with great intention. Next slide, please. The PTech program has worked with 82 different industry partners from the inception. These industry partners work directly with our students and our PTech faculty. They will work with your children to prepare them to become amazing young professionals, and they will work with your PTech teachers and administrators to ensure that the PTech classrooms model and incorporate aspects of today's workplace culture. What this means for your student is that they will get to receive an education in an environment supported by Fortune 500 companies such as AT&T, PepsiCo, IBM, Microsoft, and as you can see here, many more. Next slide, please. As we've mentioned before, not only will your student receive amazing opportunities to become young professionals, but they have an outstanding opportunity to have a head start in their college education by earning an associate degree while they're in high school. The PTech success rate for our very first senior class was more than double the national average. Nearly 75% of all PTech graduating seniors obtained both their high school diploma and associate degree. And as you can see here, even more students earned 60 or more college credit hours while earning their high school diploma. So if higher education and powerful career options for your students are important to you and your family, PTech is definitely a standout choice when choosing Dallas ISD. Next slide, please. And at this time, I'll hand it over to my colleague Nithya Govindasamy to recap and review any final questions we may have about the PTech program here in Dallas ISD.
Thank you, Chris. As we mentioned, we're really excited to be here today and share a little bit about the PTech and early college program. We encourage you to research more about the different career pathways that your students might be interested in. And we have several options. They really do span across every field, not just technology, but business. We have criminal justice, education, really anything you can think of. From a application perspective, we really do focus on getting students that haven't always had the opportunity to access programs like this. So we highly encourage you. We don't really look at scores as much. Our program is the choice program, just like the other programs you're hearing about, but our requirements are very different. So if your student is interested in this type of opportunity, I highly encourage you in looking into PTech and early college programs. Next slide, please. And just highlighting just quick more information. Just apply on the single portal website. As far as the application goes, that is the same way that you would apply for our program. We typically look at TSI test scores and things of that nature, but similar to the other schools on this call, last year we didn't have STAR tests, so we're looking at some different information. And I think that's the end of our presentation, so I'll turn it back over to our host. Thank you.
What impresses me the most about Career Institute's program, it's the passion from the faculty, from the staff. Everyone here is here because they want to be here, because they want to contribute.
I think as instructors from the industry, it's our job to instill the passion for what the students would like to learn and get them excited about it.
I love interacting with students. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't want to help train up the next generation.
The fact that we can take a student and we'll give them not only insight into the one particular thing that they were thinking about, but then we'll show them all the different careers are available in that pathway.
The Career Institute program, it gives the students the opportunity to learn about the real life, how real life looks like.
The thing I am looking forward to the most is seeing the first set of graduates from the Career Institute. I think it's going to be so exciting to see that first set of students graduate.
Well, greetings, everyone. I am so happy to be here to share the exciting opportunities that are available at our career institutes. So at our core, Career Institutes expand career options for highly motivated students who want to enter career pathways and earn a living wage right out of high school. The Career Institutes offer courses leading to 4 or more industry recognized certifications in each of the pathways that we offer. Currently, our program choices include aviation flight, cybersecurity, construction and carpentry, electrical and solar technology, HVAC and refrigeration technology, plumbing and pipe fitting technology, mechatronics and advanced manufacturing, the health sciences, and information technology. So at Career Institute East, this is our first year at Career Institute East, and the high schools that we currently serve are Bryan Adams, Spruce, Lincoln, Madison, and Woodrow Wilson. Pathways we offer this year are cybersecurity, HVAC, plumbing, interior design, electrical, and construction. Next year, we're very excited to announce that we'll be offering 2 health science pathways, pharmacy technician and patient care technician. At Career Institute North, the high schools that they currently serve are Hillcrest, W.T. White, Conrad, Thomas Jefferson, and North Dallas. The pathways that they offer: cybersecurity, mechatronics, aviation flight, HVAC, plumbing, architecture and interior design, electrical and solar, and construction. At the Charmaine and Robert Price Career Institute South, the schools that they currently serve are Roosevelt, Kimball, Molina, Carter, South Oak Cliff, Pinkston, Sunset, and Adamson. They also offer for their pathways cybersecurity, mechatronics, aviation, HVAC, plumbing, interior design, electrical, construction, and next year they will be offering pharmacy tech, patient care tech, EMT, and EKG phlebotomy. So just to tell you a little bit about how the Career Institutes work. We are an extension of high school campuses. We are offering CT programs and now have locations at interim sites. Career Institute East is located at the Lincoln Instructional Center. Career Institute South, the Price Career Institute South, is located at 4949 Village Fair. And Career Institute North is located at an interim facility in North Dallas. Students who choose Career Institutes will either select an A day or a B day to come over in the AM or the PM. So students will take 2 courses at their Career Institutes, their pathway course and an elective course. They will eat lunch at the Career Institutes and then be bused back to their home campus. They will do this in the AM or the PM, but 2 courses are required at the Career Institutes. No application is required for the Career Institutes. Again, we're an extension of the home campus offering CTE courses. We also have industry partners on hand who are very excited about the programs and ready to offer students opportunities of employment right out of high school. If you have any questions about Career Institutes, please feel free to contact any of the people located here on the slide for more questions. And we thank you for your time today.
My family chooses Dallas ISD because I am a Dallas ISD graduate. Having my girls here, they've done very well these last 2 years. So Dallas ISD will forever be ingrained in our family.
My family chooses Dallas ISD because I went to Dallas ISD. We're one of the lucky ones that have really great schools where we are. There's no reason to pay for it if you can get a great education for free.
Yo elegí a Dallas ISD porque pues para nosotros es buen sistema y nos gusta todo lo que ofrecen.
Because we're both products of public school system and believe in what it can do.
And with so many, or with such a variety of programs, there's no doubt that we'll find the right fit for our children.
Hay como más oportunidades para que ellos se puedan desarrollar en un futuro.
I choose Dallas ISD because of the school choice. There's so many options, there's so many different programs, and I think that Dallas caters to all students.
Great. So I hope that you got a ton of information. We will be answering your questions in just a few seconds. So just wanted to go over again some information. We've put in the Q&A, we've shared the address where you can find a lot more information and also the link to the application. It's www.dallasisd.org/choose Dallas ISD. If you've already started your application and you need any help, please call our phone bank. They'll be there answering questions today until 2 p.m. It's 972-925-5560. We are there to help. We are so glad that you've already started filling out those applications. And again, if there's any questions that we don't answer today, you can call that number and ask them. We'll also be able to answer any questions during the week, during our regular hours. Same number, 972-925-5560, pretty much from 7:30 to 5. We'll try to get to all the calls that we receive. We'll also add some of the frequently asked questions as we go through these sessions online, and you'll be able to find those frequently asked questions. So I really encourage you to check out the page. It has a wealth of information. And I encourage you as well to visit that page and register for some of the upcoming webinars. I just wanted to go over some of the details that we're going to have in the next few Saturdays. Next Saturday, on November 14th, we're going to have a general webinar that is going to be dedicated to the secondary programs, to all the programs that are available in our middle schools and our high schools. And after it's done, we'll also be sharing with you a list of links that you can use to visit those secondary school programs. You'll be able to link directly to the school. The school will have a virtual meeting, a virtual open house, so to speak, and you'll be able to speak with the principal and teachers possibly other parents, and ask them specific questions about that school. That will be going on from 11:30 to 2 p.m. So you'll be able to visit as many schools as you need during that time. It's a similar setup on Saturday, December 5th. For the elementary programs. So we'll also have links for those programs, for those schools, and you'll be able to visit after we have the webinar. You'll be able to visit each of those schools. So I encourage you to register for all of these. We'll be sharing those links at the webinar, and a similar one will happen on Saturday, December 12th. So that we can give you links to the neighborhood schools, because we have a lot of programs like pre-K, dual language, that take place in the neighborhood schools. And we want you to be able to visit with those schools as well. So we'll have links for those. We also have some evening sessions where we'll provide information about the different programs, but we'll really be able to answer more of your questions about the application and how, and kind of be more specific on that topic, because we know that we've been having all these application workshops at different schools, but because of the situation we're in now, we're doing it virtually, so we'll be able to do that at that time. But again, all of the sessions are accompanied by a phone bank of people, experts that are there to help you at 972-925-5560. So I hope that you take advantage of this. And right now we're going to jump to the questions, and we have quite a few, so thank you. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We'll start now. Can Keisha or someone who knows about the general application, can you explain the difference between magnet schools and early college? And also, we've had a lot of questions about how many schools can parents apply to, and do they need to apply to all 5, to just 2? Can you tell us a little bit about that and what the advantage is to apply to more than one school?
Okay. I'll talk about the application then. Families have the ability to apply to up to 5 schools. So you can have up to 5 choices, no matter what the combination is. But remember, there is a caveat. Only 2 of those campuses or 2 of those choices may be a magnet school. You do not have to apply to all 5. You can apply to just 1. If you're able to, if that's what you choose. This application, let me go back a little bit and talk about it. We wanted to change some of the things that were going on. Historically, families could apply to the OTI schools, and that process sat in a separate portal. You could apply to all of them. You could apply to the magnet schools that sat in a different portal. The collegiate academies, you could apply to 3 of them, and they sat in a different portal. You could use our student transfer process and apply to up to 2 schools that were in a different portal. You can go to our IB and our dual language programs and apply to those schools which sat in another portal. What we did was bring all of the various applications together into one portal and allow you to apply to all of them, giving you 5 choices. There are no advantages to applying for 1 school or 5 schools. There are none. You will be able to prioritize your choices. Once you prioritize your choices, you will be contacted by the school and do the assessments that go along with the various applications. If it's a magnet, you do the magnet assessment. If it's a P-TECH, you do the P-TECH interviews. After that, we're going to bring all of the data together with all of the various programs where families have applied. It's going to be about mid-February. From there, we're going to use an optimizing tool to put all of your choices together to provide you, based on your rankings, family, with one optimal acceptance. There will be no more You'll have an acceptance at this school. You're waiting to hear from this school to see if you got in before you accept this process. You'll receive one optimal acceptance based on your ranking.
And kind of a follow-up and a comment, that's why it's important that you, when you're doing your application, that you rank the schools by your preference, right? Because if you're going to rank the school you're least interested in as your first, and if you get in, that will be the offer that you get. You're not going to be able to then say, well, I don't want that one, and then your second choice will come up. I mean, that it's like the one you get into is the offer you get, correct?
That is correct, because you're going to rank it. So it's very important how you rank your schools. If you receive your offer and it's not a school that, you want to attend, you may decline that school. You have 10 days to provide us with a decision on if you're going to attend that school. But remember, if you decline the offer for that school, then you may only receive a wait list for your other school.
And also, if you choose schools, if you apply to several schools that require interviews or auditions or whatever, before will you only do an audition or an interview for the first ranked school or several?
No, this is going to change. This is the change for us. You will be notified by all of the schools who require an audition or an interview to come on a certain date. This application portal allows schools to schedule the family's appointments to come in. So you'll have your appointment to come in, and you'll do your assessments or your interviews pretty much not at the same time, but around the same period of time. So you won't have to wait for your first choice to do that assessment and you see if you've been accepted or not before you do your other, for your second choice. All of this will be going on simultaneously between the month of November and the month of February.
Great. And while we have you here, let me also ask you some questions that we've gotten a lot of, talking about the assessments that you need and the requirements. And if any other program wants to jump in for their own particular requirements, please feel free to do so. But, it's been a weird year. And last year we didn't have a lot of the assessments. And there's folks also coming from private schools who may not have some of the assessments that you mentioned. How are we handling that? How can these parents provide the information that you need?
Okay, let me reiterate. For families who are applying to magnet schools, this year, because of COVID, there are two standardized tests or two tests that you're able to provide us for eligibility criteria. The first test being the fall 2019 ACP. Students took this assessment in December. So contact your school, contact the counselor. The counselors have received, or all of the schools have received, the cut scores of what the 40th percentile or the 70th percentile looks like on the ACP. If that test does not qualify your student is able to use the beginning of the year math assessment that was administered in September for our students. All of these scores can be acquired at your children's home school. They can let you know, if your student meets the criteria. The other thing, GPAs. Because of COVID, Dallas opted for a 9-week grading cycle. So that grading cycle just ended on Friday. Okay? So you may not right now have your student's report card, but because of that, we're also allowing families to utilize their spring 2020 GPA. So families can apply with all of your last year credentials and your beginning of the year credentials. We do not want to disqualify any student the ability to apply to a magnet school.
Great. And for those parents who may be already in the district and can they find these results in their parent portal account in PowerSchool? How can they tell where their kids are?
Yes, you can find your GPA and your test scores within your parent portal, but I would contact the campus. Contact the campus. The counselor will be there to assist you and provide that information to you. There was another question that you asked that I did not answer, and that was based on those students who attended a private school or students who do not have test scores. Just as in the past, we have Saturdays that are scheduled for students. We call it our out-of-district testing, or our students without assessment testing on Saturdays. All of that information will be posted on the Magnet website so that families are able to access those dates.
Great. And also some of these interviews and auditions, you know, with COVID, parents are understandably concerned about how they'll take place. In the past, they've been in person. Are we going to do that again this year? Are they going to be virtual? Can you provide some information about how that is taking place?
Right now, leadership has made the decision, or leadership has made the decision that all of the assessments will be face-to-face. But we will be following the CDC guidelines. We will be following our Evolution of Dallas ISD return to school procedures and guidelines. PPE will be provided. We will be making sure that all of the assessments that are face-to-face are small groups. So we want to make sure that our students that are coming onto our campuses are safe.
Great. So moving on to other questions, so Keisha can take a break, maybe. We've received a lot of questions from parents whose students receive special education services about how they can apply to some of these fantastic programs. And also, how can they get help in whether it's dual language or magnet or PTech, how can they get help finding the school that is going to best fit their child's academic and special needs? And anyone really can jump, Keisha or anybody else too who might have something to add, please feel free.
I would ask families to visit the School Finder, to really look to see what type of interest your students have. Now, Magnet Schools, we do make sure that we provide support to students who are on a 504 or who have an IEP. In the application, you have the ability to upload documents this year. That's something new. Families historically have had to go and pick up all of these documents from various places, but you have the ability to upload documents this year. So you're able to upload or take a picture of the documents and provide them to us. We will use those support during your assessment for Magnet Schools. So if your student is on an IEP or a 504, just let us know. We will provide all of the accommodations that are provided or afforded to you with those documents in your assessment.
Great. And this is kind of, I guess, more of a question for like the transfer arena. This parent is really excited about their child or student moving from elementary to middle school, and they know of a great special ed program at a particular school, and they were wondering if they could apply to attend that school.
All of the schools that are available for transfers are showing in the application. Our transfer process, is based on space availability. So we do have some schools in Dallas ISD where students cannot transfer to because the school is at capacity. So that's one of the things that I would look at to make sure that transfers are provided to that particular school.
Great. So this is a question for the dual language program. So you get a break, Keisha. So the dual language program, they're wondering also, are there assessments that need to be done to be able to be accepted into a dual language program? And if there are assessments, especially dual language at Montessori, if those assessments are taking place, how are they taking place? In person, virtually? Anybody from dual language?
Sure, this is Belinda. As far as dual language programming, we do not have screeners or assessments, but they may have it if they're in a specialized program. So there may be one for another type of program in a Montessori or a magnet program that also has dual language. But as far as our own programming, there is no screener or assessment.
Okay. And there was also another question about dual language. This is a Hispanic family who have a daughter in 5th grade who only speaks English, but they're really interested in her participating in a dual language program in middle school. So she can learn Spanish. Does she have to be fluent? They speak in Spanish in the home, but she doesn't have that level of fluency. How would that work? And would she be able to enter a middle school dual language program?
For the most part, the students entering into middle school do have prior experience with the Spanish language. They come from one-way or two-way programs, but we do have students that enter into 6th grade with no prior Spanish experience. If they have the interest there, they have the drive to learn it. We do have students that learn it in 6th grade and continue through 12th grade, and they flourish. So it's really up to the family and the campus. But there are opportunities for our 6th graders to come in not knowing that much Spanish, but there may be some, a little bit of a lag. The student may have to just kind of catch up because they do enter in different levels of Spanish, not a traditional Spanish 1 class. It's a little more advanced than that. It's more of a Spanish 2 or 3 class when they're taking their LOT in middle school. So it would be something that we could definitely discuss with the school, with the parents. But there is an opportunity for it. We even have students that come in 9th grade with no prior Spanish that end up earning the seal of biliteracy.
Excellent. That I'm sure they think that's very good news. We do have a question from a parent, and I'm sure this happens often, but this family's, their son they moved to Dallas this year, and so they really were interested in like some of the specialty programs, PTech, Magnet, but of course, you know, when they moved, the application for this year was already closed. But the son is in 9th grade now, but they're interested in maybe participating next year, being able to move to one of these programs. How does that work? Can they enter a PTech program in the 10th grade? Can they apply for a magnet program to start in the 10th grade? I don't know if PTech can give us some guidance on that.
We typically accept students into the 9th grade. There's very rare occasions where they can move just because they have to start their college classes as early as 9th grade. And then if they don't start in that sequence and they don't finish in the time frame that is set up. But I would encourage them to go ahead and submit the questions through PhoneBack, or I can put my information in the chat and we'll be happy to talk through their specific situation. So we can see if there's something else we can provide. And I'll let the Magnet folks answer that question too.
And magnet schools, we do take 10th graders. There are a few slots available at all of our schools because the program begins just like at PTech in the 9th grade. But magnet students, 10th grade students are able to apply to a magnet school.
Great, good to know. So yeah, if you're in that situation that you just moved to the district, you couldn't apply, contact our number 972-925-5560 and ask them directly. They will transfer you to the particular program and they can answer your questions. You can also send an email to choosedallasisd@dallasisd.org. I know it's repetitive, but you know, choosedallasisd@dallasisd.org, and we will make sure that that email gets to the right department so you can get that specific answer. This is a question for whoever handles the IB programs. We've had several questions about what parents need to do to be able to apply for the International Baccalaureate at all the grade levels that it's offered. I don't know, who is that part of Transformation, the IB program? So somebody from Transformation.
Hi, good morning. So as far as the IB programs, you would do the same process. This one application is your one-stop shop for everything. And so the IB programs that are available at elementary and secondary are in the application. So you would just simply choose those campuses in your application.
Great. So for PTech, this is a question for the PTech program. So with COVID-19 taking place Will the students get a chance to participate in internships under the PTech program? And when do those internships start? Like at what grade would they be doing this?
Excellent question. Thanks for asking that. Absolutely. What's interesting this year is many of our industry partners, and it really happened over the summer, a lot of the internship opportunities were turned virtual. So we were able to do a lot of remote internship opportunities, and we know that that's something that's going to be coming even this summer for our students that are in the program right now. Typically, we encourage students to do internships their junior year summer or even into their senior year, just because they're a little bit further along in the program, but there's not a specific age requirement. I've seen some rising sophomores and actually rising juniors, so sophomores that are going into junior year also participate in internships. So we have a variety of opportunities. But yes, we will definitely continue the opportunities, and most of them have been virtual over the last year and will probably continue to do so.
Okay, great. And also for PTech, and now I have lost the question, so never mind. I will come back to you. This is a question for early learning. Can you go over the different choice pre-K programs in these choice programs and how that works? I know that you apply for the choice program now, and then you have to apply for the pre-K program in the spring. But if you can tell us a little bit more about that, there's some questions. So I think it would be a good idea to maybe explain it again.
Sure. This is Yesenia Ramirez with Early Learning. So it's a little different there's two types. So the magnet schools like Dealey and Harry Stone, the families just have to apply through the process and go through the assessments required to attend pre-K at Dealey Montessori. For the remainder of the transformation schools, it's a lottery base. And that's what they'll be applying for right now, is for the lottery place applications and the acceptance for it. When March comes around, then the family will be able to register for pre-K and follow the qualifying processes. And that's what I mentioned earlier, where they qualify by TA, they can qualify for a scholarship or a tuition base. There was a question earlier that asked me, is Dealey tuition-based school? The answer is no. Like I mentioned, for those two magnets, which is Dealey and Harry Stone, it is an acceptance through the evaluations and the requirements that Keisha had mentioned early on in the presentation.
Great. And this is a question that's actually general for anyone. How does transportation work? Are we providing transportation? I know PTech mentioned transportation, but does this apply to any of these, any of the dual language early learning magnets? Because I think, for some parents, this might be, a decisive question. So Yesenia, and then maybe dual language can let us know.
Sorry, I was answering questions on the chat. Transportation for pre-K, there is no transportation for pre-K. If the school actually has a bus route, then the child can ride the bus. So there is no, and that's a great question, there is no specific pre-K bus that picks up pre-K students and drop them off at schools. So it is only if a school has bus route, then the pre-K student can ride the bus. I think Keisha can talk a little bit more on how it works with the magnets and the other side of the transportation part.
Yes, transportation is provided for the magnets, for the OTI schools, for the PTech schools. If parents, you are selecting a school that is through the neighborhood transfer process, transportation will not be provided. But we have worked very hard with the transportation team to ensure that our students who are applying for our choice programs receive transportation.
Great. Dual language and maybe transformation?
Sure. For dual language programming, if it's a specialty school, it depends on the school they're applying to. There may be, transportation provided. However, at most of our two-way dual language schools, it is not provided. But if it's at a magnet school or another specialty school, it may be. So it's really asking the school whether they provide it or not for that specialized program.
And transformation and innovation schools?
And for transformation schools, we do provide transportation as long as you're within the district boundaries. For innovation schools, it follows the same process as Keisha mentioned earlier. If you're transferring, they do not provide transportation, but if your neighborhood school already has a bus route, then transportation is provided.
Great. And this is, I guess, a question maybe for you, but this family's daughter was placed on a waiting list for solar prep for girls for this year. Will they have to apply again for next year? Will that wait list still be used? How does that work?
Yes, they need to apply again for next school year, and this is something that's a little different. So no wait list will be rolling over for the next anytime soon. So any school that you're interested in that you are on a wait list for and you would like to apply again, we encourage you to do so. Those wait lists will not roll over.
Okay. And this may be for you too. For the IB programs, is there, like, if they want to apply for an IB program, for example, at J.A. Long or Woodrow Wilson, are they listed on the application? And is it based on space? How does that work?
They are, and it is based on space. Keisha, do you want to jump in?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So if you're looking at campuses, some that have the traditional program as well as the IB program, both options will be listed. And so parents can click specifically if they're interested in just their general neighborhood school or if they want to be in that IB program.
Mm-hmm. But let me add a caveat to that. We talked about student transfers earlier. So the IB program at J.A. Long is not open to transfers because the school is at capacity. But families do have the opportunity to apply for the IB program at Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, excellent. So this parent started filling out an application for her two children, and it said her daughter was zoned to go to attend E.D. Walker Montessori. Does that mean that she would automatically go to that school if she does not get into the schools that she applies to through this period?
That is her zoned school. So yes, she would be able to attend that school if she did not get into her choice school that she's applying for.
Great.
We do not take away your zone schools. You don't have to apply for your neighborhood school. If that's your neighborhood or your zone school, that's where the campus and the district is expecting you to enroll.
And I think this would be a really good time to mention that, well, we have this like more than 100 specialty programs and schools that are really excellent. We also have fantastic neighborhood schools. They, a lot of them offer a lot of, dual languages really everywhere. And as is pre-K practically everywhere. We have a lot of great programs within the neighborhood schools. So if you don't happen to get into the school of your choice, don't worry. We do have a lot of great programs within the neighborhood schools. And we'll be, if you're interested in learning more about those, I remind you about the webinar we'll be having on Saturday, December 12th. If you want to sign up for that, we'll be able to learn about these programs in neighborhood schools and what they offer. And we'll provide you links so you can visit with these schools and learn more about those.
Clarity, Mary Carmen, about the question from the parent with E.D. Walker. Is this a parent of a middle school student or an elementary school student? Because the Montessori program is going to the newly added elementary school. The middle school is the neighborhood school portion.
They did not specify, but I'm glad you clarified. And if the parent wants to get additional information about that or still has questions, we invite you to call 972-925-5560 to get more details about that.
Thank you for the clarification, Shakita.
Yes, thank you. How is the decision, the lottery? If we can talk a little bit more about the lottery for all of these programs, how is that done? I mean, I assume that once you do your application, if you're called for an audition, interview, exam, whatever else you need to do, then the number of students that will go to the next phase is narrowed down, and then the lottery takes place. Can you go over this process just a little bit in more detail, or again?
Okay. For the new application, correct? How it's working?
For this year.
Okay. Well, what's going on is, depending on your school, you will sit for, if it's a magnet school, you'll still have to do the assessment process. So once you go over, you do your interview, your observation, your audition, then there's a rubric that's used, and your student receives a score. So for magnet schools, we have a board policy, EHBJ local, that identifies how we select students into magnet programs. So none of that is changing with the new application. So the students will sit for the application. The schools will still rank order the students based on their assessment. The top 30 will get in no matter where they live. The remaining 70% of the seats are allocated to the feeder patterns, okay? So then we'll have a pool of students who are eligible for that school, okay? Then if you've also applied for a P-TECH or an OTI school, we'll run the 50-50 lottery. The 50-50 socioeconomic lottery is going to be running on this side, while the magnet qualifications are running here. The P-TECH qualifications are running here. Once the students are all eligible, the students who have met the criteria to apply or to receive a seat for these various schools will be pushed together from the various programs. Dual language, OTI, magnet schools will be pushed together and optimized based on the parents' ranking to receive one optimal seat. So the criteria, the qualifications, all of that is not going away. We'll still have our 50-50 lotteries. We'll still have our interviews for P-TECH. We'll still have our assessments. The only thing we're optimizing is one choice for the family. Does that answer your question, Mary Carmen?
I think it does, but you know what? If it didn't answer the parents' question, they can call 972-925-5560 or send us an email at choosedallasisd@dallasisd.org. Keisha, there's been some questions about the sibling rule, and also for people whose children are already in the magnet program. For example, they're attending Travis and they want to attend TAG. Is there any consideration for students who are in those situations? And how do they, and I assume they still have to apply.
They still have to apply, but by board policy, our sibling rule and our sibling process is only for elementary and middle school students. So the sibling priority or rule is not applied to our high school students. So you will receive the priority and preference if you're applying to an elementary school and a middle school.
Right. And if you are already in the magnet program, like from Travis, and you want to go to TAG, is there some sort of preference given to?
No, the sibling rule and priority was really to keep families together in the lower grades, elementary and middle school, because by the time families or students get to high school, they all have different interests. So the process was to keep them together in the lower grades.
Even if they don't have siblings, even if I'm just...
Correct, yes.
And
yes.
And I think this question is asking about, staying within the same grade level. If I'm going from second to third grade, do I have to apply again, or am I just going to move?
You do not. Mm-hmm. You do not. You just move on. The only time you would need to apply through this portal is if you're making a different choice of school for next year. If your school goes through 8th grade and you want to stay there through 8th grade, you don't have to reapply for anything. But if you're choosing a different school other than the one you are currently attending, you would need to apply.
Okay, great. So our time, we're almost out of time. So I just gonna, one more question. Again, if you have questions that are specific to a certain grade level, we really encourage you to join us, to spend your next few Saturdays with us, to join us for secondary for Saturday, November 14th. And for in this December 5th for the elementary. So if you have questions for those particular grade levels, really it'd be great if you could join us there. And you also get the added bonus that you can visit with the schools after. You can go to www.dallasisd.org/choose-dallasisd and click on the registration link for those. It'll be a similar setup as this. Do you have something to add, Keisha, to that?
I do. I want to let families know, if you go to the website, www.dallasisd, choose Dallas ISD, there is a video of how to apply. I know there's been lots of questions. There's a step-by-step video of what you will see and encounter as you're applying for this video. I failed to mention that the application is available on your mobile device. You're able to apply using your mobile device and take pictures of the required documents to upload.
Okay, excellent. That's new and that's fantastic because, yeah. And so just two more questions if you bear with us. The first one is about career institutes. Can students interested in this program, do they have to apply starting in 9th grade, or now that they've learned, the parents came to this webinar and learned all about this fantastic program, can they apply in the 10th grade? I mean, what are the parameters for that? If our career institutes folks can answer that.
Students absolutely can enroll into any of their career institutes. They simply need to speak to their counselor and let them know which pathway that they are interested in participating in.
At any grade?
At any grade level.
Okay, that's excellent news. And our last question for today, before we close down, can I change the school choices on the application after I submit it, but before the deadline of January 31st?
Absolutely. Before the deadline, you are able to go and re-rank your choices. If you put one school first and now you want something else, please re-rank it. You'll receive notification that you've re-ranked your choices. But after the application has been submitted, you cannot change your choices.
Submitted by, okay, so even if you submitted before January 31st, okay.
Correct, I'm sorry.
So if you're not sure if that's what those are the schools you want, just don't hit submit, just save it and come back to it. But make sure you do go back and submit before January 31st. And because if not, it won't go through.
Right. You're able to, once you submit it, you still can go in and change your choices. You cannot re-rank your choices after the deadline. So on February the 2nd, you can't come back to us and say, well, I want to change my rank order. But on January 31st, that is the last date where you may be able to change your choices.
Right. And as you can see, we do have three webinars similar to this in January for those folks who still have questions, who still need a little bit more information to make those choices before they hit submit. So make sure that you register for those. The registration can be even minutes before it starts or after it starts. So please feel free to take advantage of all these opportunities that we are offering you. We have so many great people, as you can see today, that can give you the information you need. I want to thank all the panelists and definitely all the parents who joined us today for this webinar. We look forward to seeing you in the next ones if you still have questions. And some of the questions that we unfortunately weren't able to get to all of the questions, we answered quite a few of them in the Q&A. We'll work through them. If there's specific that we need to contact you individually, we will. If not, we'll add them to a general FAQ that will be on the page. This webinar, the recording of this, will also be available on the dallasisd.org/choose Dallas ISD. The Spanish one will be available in Dallas ISD es para ti. So please feel free to consult it, watch it again, and join us for the next ones. And thank you so much for spending this hour and a half with us, panelists, parents. This has been great. I'm sorry we couldn't do this in person, but at least we were able to provide this great vehicle to answer all your questions. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.